Welcome to Auntie Kay's Tarot, your favorite radical queer indigenous auntie, bringing you tarot every day. Hello everyone and welcome to Auntie Kay's Tarot. I'm filming with natural early morning sunlight, although it's diffused through these window clings in my room because it's much earlier than this household usually wakes up, but I was awake very early today. And I don't want to disrupt the flow of the house by turning on lights, including for the fish. But I wanted to talk some more about AI and spirituality and human connection. Here's the deal about spirituality. To be able to grasp connection on a spiritual level, I believe you need to connect on a human level. And I don't mean you have to have perfect, healthy, wonderful connections to be able to connect spiritually. It's not like that. But the practice, the yearning, the desire to connect to humans, it will have a positive impact on your spiritual connection. And we also see that with our pets, right? Pets can be a replacement for human connection, but when we care about others and we learn that responsibility to others, it's easier to replicate that responsibility with our pets. It is easier to replicate that responsibility with spirituality. And pets and spirituality can definitely fill in the holes of a lack of healthy human connection. But it's still about connection to all living beings. In my culture, we say all my relations. And that is not understood as human relations, or not even just human and animal relations, but also human, animal, plant, and spirit relations. Relations of spirit are physical and spiritual. Rock is a relation. They are grandfathers and grandmothers. They are older than any other being on this earth. And I want to adjust this camera down so you have a better, more natural view of me. But I also wanted to be like, there's some art in here. Art from my angsty youth that has been in my children's home because they were like, wow, my mom was an angsty youth. But now it's back here, and some art done with my youngest and other homeschool kids as cooperative art. Now let's rebalance the camera. Art also requires that desire, that yearning, and those attempts for human connection to have something to make art about, to have something to say, to have something to mean. And I believe it is important, and this is part of the problem with AI. It's the machine. It is not spiritual. And we have lost the plot when we think it is. And if we think AI is spiritual, we will justify destroying our environment to increase energy demand for data banks for AI, which Bill 5 in Ontario is about undermining environmental protections and steamrolling over in Indigenous rights, treaty rights, to strip in Indigenous land in what Ontario calls the Ontario Ring of Fire. They are holding roads hostage. The north in Canada largely has no roads and is experiencing mass amounts of forest fires due to climate change. And yes, due to climate change. Doesn't matter how the fire starts. The fires are the overwhelming, uncontrollable size they are because of climate change. And they want to cause more climate destruction for AI data banks, not for human energy consumption. We're all told to turn off our lights because we need it for AI. And now AI wants to be your spiritual guru. That is a really dangerous combination. A really dangerous combination. And I got a phone call from someone I've known, a friend I've known, telling me about a video they came about. There was an AI video trying to tell them that they can be Heoka, which is a Lakota thing, not an Indigenous thing. A Mohawk cannot be Heoka. A Haida cannot be Heoka. Only Lakota, Nakota, and Dakota can be Heoka. That's requirement number one. The rest of the requirements are none of your business, but it's not most of you at all. And they were concerned and horrified. And I was like, yeah, I just did a video on AI trying to tell you you're a guru, be your guru, be the guru who leads you to be the guru. And I was thinking about this through the day yesterday. What do we do? I am here looking as human as I can possibly look. I always look this human. I don't wear makeup. I'm not going to put that on other women. I don't color my hair. I'm not going to put that on other women because I'm Lakota and I turned 50 in a couple of days. And I barely have gray hair. So I'm not going to put that, but I'm looking human. I'm looking very human. I'm going to encourage you to consider letting your hair be natural, wear lighter makeup, look human, sound human, show up in person. We have made so many online connections and it has been beautiful, but get outside, touch grass or pavement and concrete, touch rock and water, and see real people. But because now AI can also make videos. They're pretty short right now. But stay in touch with reality. Staying in touch with reality will bring you closer to spirit. That is why so many ancient cultures, ancient spiritualities, and religious beliefs are about the natural world. And that is because the more you connect to reality, the more your mind is able to open and conceive spirit. Because if you can see reality clearly, you will see spirituality more clearly. You will understand what spirit does and doesn't do more clearly the more you connect with reality. The more you connect with a human, an animal, a plant, a rock. The more you touch reality, the more you try to communicate and connect with other humans in your imperfect human ways, striving to be better, the more you will be open to spirituality without being lost and taken advantage of and taken down some guru or cult road. Opt out of AI because you are opposed to the militaries committing genocide in Palestine, where Israel and the US developed a lot of AI technology. Opt out of AI because you are opposed to mass government surveillance, which much of the other parts of AI, especially the artistic parts, were funded by China for surveillance, as well as by Israel for surveillance. Opt out of AI because you believe in Indigenous rights and you don't think Canada and Ontario should be destroying the North as it catches on fire and saying we will only build you roads if you accept mines. That's where I was going, and the North in Canada doesn't have roads, and it's all catching on fire. So you can't just hop in your car and evacuate. You have to be evacuated by air. You have to try and escape to the bush, the water. There's no roads. And these fires are so much more intense than a fire ever was before because of extraction. But the only way we will have roads to escape fires when they come is if we allow more extraction. So opt out of AI because you're opposed to that. And opt out of AI because you want to know what is real so that you can have a healthy spirituality. Okay. That's all, folks. Have a good day. Talk to you later.